All right, we are here on a Sunday morning. Welcome aboard. Welcome to
All right, we're here live. Sorry, we're having little issues in the studio. We're here live talking track talk, horse racing. Thanks for joining in. Bottom line, we were talking sports, NFL football kicking off Sunday. Obviously, today, tomorrow, got a couple games. We talked action, so stay tuned. Saturdays and Sundays, you catch our football talk, 8 o'clock on Saturdays and Sundays here on WS Radio. Horse racing, we lost Del Mar. Del Mar is done for the season, but we do have the Bing Crosby Fall, which is right around the corner. Santa Anita is right around the corner also. We got great fall racing coming up from there. Right now, Los Alamitos, they got some great racing going on there. It's a great track to go check out some racing. You're right in the mix there. So I do like going up to watch Los Alamitos. I'm not paying attention too much to the action here. I truly love Del Mar, Santa Anita as a Southern California handicapper. But you know what? We'll talk and try to find out a couple horses. Not too much on the handicapping page today. I know there is a carryover at Monmouth, and there's some weather on the East Coast also. So a lot of racetracks, including Belmont and Gulfstream, with some weather. So races getting taken off the turf in some of those situations. Makes it a little bit harder to find and pick and choose where you want to handicap.
Yeah, without any question. As we take a look at what's going on across the country, a lot of rain, inclement weather. Saratoga, your neck of the woods back there, disastrous meet this summer. Just never were able to get out of that canoe, which they paint in the middle of the infield for the winner of the Travers. Well, next year, they're giving canoes for people to get to Saratoga. Very, very disappointing. That whole summer was decimated with rain.
Oh, yeah, it's unfortunate, especially a meet like Saratoga where everybody is amped up, revved up, want to be at Saratoga, and it kind of not hurts the reputation a little bit, but it makes it challenging because, you want to bring your horses there, and if you don't have a horse that runs in the mud and you want to run on the turf, you have to kind of second guess where you're going to put that horse. Because if you ship it out there and it rains and you keep going off the turf, and you're paying bills and you're not finding the race you want to go in, but you know what? You're having some trouble there. So, I love when Saratoga's in full capacity. It wasn't there this year. It's still a great place to go. The town, the Racing Hall of Fame's there. It is just a horse racing town. So if you've never been there, you got to go. But hopefully you get a nice week and no rain.
All right, Captain, what do you think in regard to all the racing from across the country?
We do have some inclement weather. We've got some nice racing out here today at Los Alamitos, and try and put a pick five ticket together. The only thing I don't like is that the late pick four is a dollar bet. If they're going to have it at 50 cents at Santa Anita and Del Mar, they should also have it 50 cents over at Los Alamitos. But a suspect day over there today. But we've got football, we've got some horses. Let's get the party started.
Well, you're right. The trifectas are no 50 cents either. They're not. They're $1, and minimum bet of a trifecta is $1. And I think that, you should, if you're going to go to Del Mar and Santa Anita, why should Los Al be any different? Right, Tommy D?
I totally agree. Los Alamitos should be trying to get people to play there. You got to make it for the players. I totally agree. Make it 50 cents. Let's get going. Because I take this time and not to, say that I don't pay attention to Los Alamitos, but I take a little bit of a break here. Maybe if they throw that 50 center in there, it makes it a little bit more, I'll put a few more bets in. But, man, after Del Mar, it's a long season. After Del Mar, Saratoga, I'm taking a little bit of a breather, getting ready, amped up for Santa Anita. But, I'm paying attention just like Captain. You don't want to lose focus, but yeah, we'll see how it plays today.
So what has been what was your biggest moment at Del Mar this summer? First to you, Tommy D, then we'll go out to the captain.
Yeah, so I think there's a lot of things, that really, struck me special. And I guess the first one would be starting my first racehorse at Del Mar this summer. We didn't have the best race. We did start off at maiden special weight. So we were going up against some $1 million horses. And, we found out our horse is a quality horse, but not at the top level. So we're making adjustments. But I love the game. And then, bringing my son to the track. And being able to hang out at the track and meet people and just enjoy, the energy and the atmosphere that's there, because Del Mar is just like, it's hard to have a bad day there. Even when you're losing, you look around and there's so many places you could be, but it's a beautiful place. So I'm always happy to be there. The weather is always nice. I don't even know if we had any rain this summer. I know that's bad to say after we're talking about all the rain on the East Coast. But yeah, I love being at Del Mar. But, and then, being on the Fan was great, 97.3 also. But, being here back at WS Radio, to our home. So it's good to be back here also. But, a lot of stuff, Del Mar is just one of those special times, and you hate to see it go, and you do like to see it go at the same time, because it's a long season. But, it'll be back soon here in the fall. Bing Crosby, a little bit lighter crowds, and really a time to truly go out and enjoy the game of horse racing.
All righty. So, what's your take, Captain, on the most incredible moment, or the most infamous moment, I should say, of the Del Mar campaign for you?
Well, hands down, the most memorable one was seeing you the day of the concert, and then as my mother and I are leaving the track, about 15, 20 minutes later, you hear there's a shooting there. So you never know what's going to happen wherever you're at. But I really enjoyed the racing this year, and I thought Peter Miller really owned this season.
Yeah, hold on, Captain. We'll be right back. Stay tuned. We're having a couple issues, but we'll get back to you when we get back.
Worries.
All right? Stay tuned. We'll be right back here at Track Talk.
You take your smartphone almost everywhere you go. Now WSRadio.com can be there too. Search WS Radio in the Play Store for your Android devices or iTunes for Apple, and download the WS Radio application. WSRadio.com, on your phone and in your ear everywhere you go. Download the WS Radio application. Do it now. It's very easy. WSRadio.com.
Father Joe's Villages invites you to make Thanksgiving special with friends and family at Thanksgiving Day 5K in Balboa Park on November 26th. Run or walk and enjoy live music, beer gardens, and festive atmosphere with Disney-inspired characters, balloon animals, and more. Register at ThanksgivingRun.org.
All right, I think we're back here as we go into another segment of what's going on around the world in track talk. We have Belmont Park that's running now, and then we have Gulfstream Park, which is the endless Gulfstream Park. It just loops around and around and around and around and around. Down in Kentucky, we have Ellis Park running. We have Arlington Park. We have Monmouth at New Jersey. We have Woodbine and Golden Gate Fields, and now we have Los Alamitos. Did you look at any races today, Tommy D, by any chance?
And I took a dabble at Belmont, but, I wasn't too heavy into the horse racing, like I said, taking a little mind relief. But, dabble, and I like to look through and see if I could find and pick anything out. Always want to stay in tune. You don't want to totally drop off. But, football going on today, so, focused on that also. So, but, I think that there could be some spots at Los Alamitos to find some winners, but I wanted to get back to Captain because we did cut him off there about his moment at Del Mar. So, Captain, tell us about your moment at Del Mar. I know you got cut off there, but tell us about the summer at Del Mar for you.
No, it was just I really enjoyed the meet. I couldn't get up there as much as I wanted to do real estate business, but no, I thought the handle was up, the racing was good. You had good prices. I think it was just a very good, very very good. After having the Breeders' Cup here, to follow up with this kind of meet, it was just kudos to Craig Dato and the whole crew over there.
Yeah, I think they did a great job. But, guys, I do have a small little bone to pick with Southern California Racing, and it has to be as an owner, guys. So, and it's something that I just wanted to bring up, and we could talk about and maybe bring on some other people on a further show. But you were asking me about my moment as being an owner. And I was proud to be an owner because I've been following the game for a while, and I went out and I found some guys and started a partnership. And it was a proud moment for me. And I got to tell you, Southern California did not make it a good moment for me. And it's too bad and unfortunate that they treat owners the way they do. And the rich keep getting richer, and small guys like me and my partnership, we can't succeed out here. And for an example, we run in a race made in special weight. And I think it came back that we got, $475. But all said and done, after paying Jock out and everybody, we made $50 to run in that maiden special weight. The handle is up at Del Mar. They need to give more money back to the owners. And now being an owner, I'm going to be an advocate for this because if not, guys, I'm taking my horses and we're moving out of state because there's no reason to be here. If the rich keep getting richer, the poor can't compete. You got to raise those prices for the owners. You got to give them more money, especially when the handle's up, because without the horses, there's no entertainment. So, guys, I do have a little bit of a juice with California racing that I do want to talk about more in the future, and we'll get some people on here. But I think it's something to be a concern of, and I would love to get Tim Riffo on here because he might be the guy that could do something for us.
Yeah, so what do you mean by that when you regard to that, you ran one horse and you were only got $450 for it?
Yeah, that is correct. After all, jockey, pony, everything for the track, they subtract everything. I got a check for $50. When it cost me to train that horse, probably $35,000 to $4,000 to train that horse for a month. At least they could do is raise what the owners are getting for running their horses in these races. The cost of training is too high. They're going to suck out all the people. They're going to make it short fields, and there's going to be no competition. And I don't know if that's what they want to do, but that's how it looks like it's going to be because the small guys in these small partnerships can't compete anymore. The rich get richer, and they don't care about the poor because the rich keep getting richer.
I don't know about that, but I'm
firsthand experience, and I'll tell you, you know me. I've been in the game now. I've been in this partnership for 2 years, and guess what? I'm telling you, we have a horse that we ran here at Del Mar. Right now, we are shipping it to Louisiana Downs. This horse is going to stay on the East Coast because we're over the sickness of California horse racing.
And there seems to be a lot of people that feel that way. Mick Ruiz has mentioned that he's going to take all his horses out of California. Captain?
So, but yeah, Mick Ruiz, I totally agree. Maybe he's the one we got to get on here. I mean, this has to be more of an advocate because if not, the California game is already struggling with Golden Gate up there. I mean, if anything, they should be doing backflips for owners. And guess what? I got to tell you, my whole process of being an owner in Southern California was not good. I went in there and first got my license, and I'm going to tell you, I might be calling some people out, but too bad. I'm sick of it. I'm over it, Felix, and I'm going to tell you, I don't think people have to deal with this. When I went to go get my license, it was like being at the DMV, Felix. It was the most miserable thing. They should have a better experience. I come from the hospitality field. They should have a wine, a beer. They should have a bar. They should celebrate. Instead, it's like pulling teeth. It's like it was not a proud moment to get my license in there. And that's just one of the many things during my experience that needs to be changed. And if not, these young people are not going to want to be in it. And I'm one of those people.
Yep, and you were so high, and so if your experience is not gratifying to you, then there's no reason why you're going to keep doing it. And I would have to agree with you that I've heard a lot of people say from the Del Mar meet that dealing with the racing office wasn't a pleasant experience. It wasn't a Chamber of Commerce moment, and that's very, very unfortunate for that to happen because, first of all, they should lay the red carpet out for anybody who buys a horse, brings a horse to their venue, and wants to run in the venue. Now, Mick Ruiz, who is pretty well known, he has threatened to move all his horses out of California because he hasn't been given the stall spaces that he needs up at Santa Anita.
Yeah, and that's what I said. They keep getting, they're trying to cut down the barn amount of how many horses they could have, and that's unfortunate. And they're breaking it down. But unfortunately, the thing that worries me about Southern California, they have to do something for the owners. They have to be different than the tracks on the East Coast, because let me tell you why. We're on an island. We always talk about this. We are on an island. Why are we moving our horse to Louisiana Downs? How many other places can we run at? We can run at Fairgrounds. We can run at Gulfstream. We can run at Keeneland. We can run at Churchill. How many options do I have close by? Here, I don't. So give me a reason why I want to have my horse in Southern California, and tell me why, because honestly, you're not giving me a reason, and they're not making me feel good. I'm not saying I need to get backflips when I walk through the door, but treat us with respect. Honestly, every time we had our horse in a race, I feel like they're trying to find a reason to scratch us out, and it's unheard of. I almost feel like I just am a little fed up with California horse racing, and it really put a stinger in my butt this summer, to be honest with you, Felix, to just want to be real with you.
Yeah, well, you have every right to vent for a number of reasons, and you prep a horse, you bring them, you break them, you get them into training, you get them ready for a race, and you want to be treated a little differently and with due respect, without any doubt about that. There's no question about that. And it's like, when are they going to realize that horses make our game, owners make our game, and the owners really don't get an awful lot of love and respect. And obviously you're feeling that. And so how many horses now do you have? 3?
No, we have 5. We have 5 currently. And one we're sending down to Louisiana Downs currently, hopefully going to get into a race here at the end of the month. But if not, we have options. We got Keeneland. We got the Fairgrounds that are going to have some big races. And our horse is a Louisiana bred. So that's another reason why we're going down there. We're trying, you know what I mean? It's hard to compete out here. And why compete out here when Southern California doesn't want to help us? They don't want us to compete. So we're going to move to where we think we can compete, Felix.
Well, you know what? That's not a bad idea, especially for the sire. The stakes, the state bred sire, Louisiana bred, and you might be best suited to run down there. All right, we are joined with jockey Octavio Vergara Jr., who won his first race that he rode ever, or actually the first time he rode at Del Mar. That was this summer, and he got to the winner's circle, so that was a big thrill. He won yesterday on a very, very nice 18-1 shot from the Luis Mendez barn, and he's joining us on Track Talk at 9:18 on a Sunday. Octavio, great to have you. How are you, my friend?
Good morning, Felix. I'm doing good. I'm sorry, I'm still at the track, so it might be a little noisy on my end.
Nah, that's okay. We deal with all kinds. We deal with airplanes, trains, planes. It doesn't make a difference. But so a great feeling yesterday for you.
Oh, yes, it's always a great feeling when you win. That's kind of why we all do it, I think. We love the horses, of course, but there's no feeling like it in the world when you pass that wire first.
What'd you feel like yesterday?
Oh, I was on cloud nine. I was very stoked for the trainer. It was the first time he had rode me. It was also the first time I actually had ever been on the filly. So I think it goes to show you that her and I, we definitely had some really good energy. She loved me, and we got the job done together.
So when you sized up the race, did you kind of feel like you were the speed of the speed in the race?
To be particularly honest with you, when I looked at the race prior, I actually kind of wasn't thinking that I was going to have speed. I was hoping that Mr. Mendez knew the filly, being that he mostly works his horses and actually gallops them. So he seems to know them quite well. And he had mentioned to me this morning that he was so impressed with how I followed his instructions to a T. He asked me to be very aggressive out the gate. If I can get the lead, go for it. Without going through every detail, I wasn't necessarily on the lead, but I was very close, and I just waited for the horse on the inside of me to make their move, because I know we got a very long stretch here at Los Alamitos. you quote me if I'm wrong, Felix, but I think it's the longest stretch in North America.
It is the longest stretch in North America. There used to be
good. I'm glad I have the right stat there.
Yeah, you do have the right stat. You're pretty right on most of the things that you say. The longest stretch prior to that was at the fairgrounds, and I think Hawthorne has a long stretch as well. So I think that Los Alamitos, I mean, at the top of the lane, you still got a quarter of a mile to go. So where most places are the eighth pole, it's like a quarter of a mile to go, Tommy D.
Oh, yeah, of course. And, hey, congrats on the win yesterday and at Del Mar. My question for you is, going back to Del Mar, I once was a jockey agent, so I know what you're going through. You currently don't have an agent, right? You were out there doing all the work by yourself every morning?
To be honest with you, actually, for Del Mar, I was. The last few days of Del Mar, actually the very second day after I had won that race for Howie Zucker, I started working with somebody named Alexis. She was an agent a few years ago for a few riders. I couldn't tell you the name off the top of my head. But she approached me in the beginning of Del Mar, and I had told her that I kind of had my own thing going. It was working out. And, sometimes in this game, and I'm sure as you said, you're an agent before, once you start getting some opportunity, sometimes you do need somebody to represent you because, it's hard to be certain places all the time, especially like me. I mean, sometimes I work 6 horses a morning, so I don't even get a chance to see some people,
Yeah, of course. It's good to have that middle person, at least as communication for you. But, tell us about how hard, every morning you waking up and going to the track. I don't think the listeners understand the hard work to get that win at Del Mar. What you had to do, how many horses you had to work every morning. What did you do to get that win at Del Mar?
Yeah, I love actually talking about what we do. It's awesome to let people realize how much goes into it because so many people, especially the average general public, have absolutely no idea. Most of us, we have sort of it lined up the day before, but if you don't have anything lined up, you still got to be there. It's that old saying, out of sight, out of mind. So what I always did was if I had something lined up, I'd still try to be there a little bit before. So, for instance, a trainer will say, hey, can you work this horse for me tomorrow? And a work means, breeze a horse like a race preparation. They'll tell you a certain distance, a certain time. So there's obviously pressure in that regard as well. If you want to be accurate, you don't want to go out there and make them think you don't know what you're doing. But, you try to get there a little bit before that, and go see some people and line up other workers. But, and we're actually not paid for this. So, we do this for free with the goal of getting a mount in the afternoon. So that's kind of what is one of the hardest parts with it. You're unfortunately working for free most of the time. But, I worked a lot of horses. I almost worked probably on average at Del Mar 5 to 6 every day. There are a few days a week that are pretty quiet. When people run a lot of their horses, sometimes they give them a couple easy days, of course, before they even get back to the track. So, but, as jockeys, as riders, we're there pretty much 7 days a week.
And there's another thing. You talk about your ownership. And Octavio and I became very good friends during the summer. I've known his father for years, but I was really, and I still am impressed with this young man. I just think he's going to be very, very good for the game. He has it all. I mean, he has the mental composition, the physical attributes, and he has the desire and the heart and the work ethic. And I kind of was taken back when he shared with me that he goes out there and he works 6 or 7 horses a day, and he doesn't get any money for it. I mean, it's almost like you were talking about, you running your horse at Del Mar and only getting $50 after, or $450 after paying everybody out. You netted $50. But, they should sort of have an unwritten rule that, these trainers, like you say, are making good money, and most of them are. I don't know how many are, but the ones that are making money, they should at least give them $25 a work. It would be something. And I just don't buy into that, Tommy D.
Yeah, no, it's tough. Like you said, he gets out there every morning riding 5 horses. And if he doesn't, he's there. And, I've had the time to, meet you and talk to you. And I believe in you, man. I think that you're got a solid head, and you're a good rider. But, Felix, to your point, I do agree that, there should be a little bit of side, and there will be some trainers that probably handshake him a little bit here and there with some cash. I hope they do, but if not, it's something they got to look out for. But that's the whole thing about these jockeys. People don't understand. He's out there riding 5 or 6 a day. You know what I mean? And he's not
working.
He's not getting all the mounts. He's out there working just to get that chance for that one ride, that one chance. And he got that chance at Del Mar, and he capitalized on it. He had some other opportunities, but when you're on that, on that level too, he's not riding the top horses. No offense, but he's working to get up to that. So he's on some horses that might be beat up, might be bruised, might not have a chance. But he's on there to prove that he's willing to go for the opportunity.
Yeah, without any doubt about that. Where that, and that is the bad part of what they go through. They work, and then nothing's more disheartening than when you work a horse and then you try to give that trainer every indication of how he worked or how she worked and how the process developed and how fluidly he or she worked. And then finding that, okay, another jock has been named to ride that horse. And Octavio, that has to be a part of the game, unfortunately, but it must be a tough pill to swallow.
Yeah, our sport is not only obviously very physically demanding, but I would say it's up to par with some of the other ones that are very mentally demanding. I mean, you have to have, like you guys said, and I appreciate your compliments about me. It means a lot. I do appreciate every time someone, appreciates and sees how hard I do work. But a lot of other guys do too. I'm not the only one. But it's definitely a very mentally demanding. You have to keep your spirits high. I'm a firm believer that the animals feel it. They know when you want it, and they know when you're in a good place in your mind, and when you're hungry. And that's why I feel like these long shots, they run for certain people, and they know that you want it when you're out there and on their back. But it's definitely mentally demanding, that's for sure. You can get sour, you can get sad, but you just got to try not to.
Yeah, no, definitely, and I think you're staying with it, man. I saw you at the track in the mornings, and we've talked, and I like how you look me straight in the eye. So I think you got the hunger for it. Just stay at a par here, and I think good things will come to you, my friend.
Let me ask you this, Octavio, and I agree with you, Tommy D, 100%. He's going to make it. There's no question in my mind. I know that if he stays, because we sat down on a number of occasions, and we talked and discussed a number of different scenarios, and I became a big Octavio Vergara Jr. fan because of the way that he does look people in his eye, in their eyes, and he does, take you very, very seriously, and he speaks so articulately, and he is a good soul. I want to ask you about that track at Los Alamitos. What big difference from Del Mar to Los Alamitos can you share?
Well, I will be honest with you, and I know my opinion doesn't mean it all, but my opinion is I actually really like the surface over here at Los Alamitos. The only thing I can say, the big difference, 2 big differences, I apologize. One is that Del Mar seems to be a pretty heavy track. It's a pretty deep track. It's kind of hard for horses to close on it, meaning that, a lot of times it seems like the speed hangs on over there. It's hard to come from way off of it. Meaning in the race, if you're way, way far away from the leaders. The second thing is Los Alamitos are the turns here. They're what we kind of, our terminology we kind of use as race riders is we call it a bull ring, meaning, a very sharp turn. And some horses, they can deal with it easily. And others, especially the horses that are less experienced with it, they tend to kind of, carry themselves out around the turn. And so there's a lot of factors that you kind of have to be ready for, kind of premeditate. But I like this track, and especially you like it when you win.
Yeah, without any doubt. You like any track, and you like any.
Right,
you like any track when you win. I mean, you can run on asphalt if you win. Hey, it's a great track. It's a great track. So, any mounts today?
I don't have any today. I have none on Thursday. But we'll see what happens today. I'm pretty sure they enter today for Friday. So hopefully you get something on Friday.
Yeah. And so, now where are you working horses at? All 3 places?
I actually just got, right before you guys gave me a call, I actually just worked my last one here at Los Alamitos. I worked 3 today.
All right. So now, is that where you're most predominantly working at Los Alamitos?
No, actually, no. I just did that because these are 3 that I'm supposed to actually have calls for before this meet ends. But no, normally I'm probably on average, I'm about 5 days a week, even sometimes 6 days a week at Santa Anita.
All right. So now let me ask you this. Who are the 3 that you worked and who were they for?
Oh, a lot of times they don't actually give me the names.
Yeah, that's
amazing.
amazing.
That's something that I've seen in California. It's something new to me, but, everyone might have their reasons for it. I just, I work them to the best of my ability, and when they ask for me for feedback, I try to give them some feedback that I think's, productive, and, hope they put me on them.
Yeah, I agree with that. Octavio Vergara Jr. is joining us, a young and upcoming rider, got a big win yesterday. That's amazing, Tommy D, because he shared this with me. Octavio shared this with me earlier that, he works horses, and then the trainers don't tell the jockeys what the name of the horse is, or they're the trainers and the crew of these barns, they don't want the horse's name to get out, because if it's a good work, they don't want anybody to know about it. They want to keep it, which you can't really. I mean, they're all identified. There's, public handicappers there. But, the less is more in this case.
Oh, definitely. I totally agree with you. It's a handicap. You don't want too much knowledge going out about your horse, especially if you feel very special about it. Because, horse racing is revolved around betting. So if they find out your horse is good, your odds go down, and therefore you can't capitalize on this horse you have.
Octavio, you started in Miami, is that correct?
That's correct, Felix. I rode my first race at Calder, which now is called Gulfstream Park West.
Right. Which is just an extension. It's a loop. You know what a loop is? When it just goes round and round. Gulfstream is just a loop. It just continues on. I mean, you can go away, come back, and Gulfstream will still be running. And when there's 0 minutes to post there, you can go and you can get a shower, a shave, have an 8-course meal. And I'm going to tell you something, I almost guarantee you won't miss the post time, because their 0 minutes to post means that you have at least 15 more minutes. The difference between riding on the East Coast versus those jockeys and the West Coast here.
Well, I mean, I'll tell you one thing. I don't know how I can really say that, but I will just say this. To me, riding in California has been my dream since I was a little kid. To me, California, I know that, from an owner's perspective, from some trainer's perspective, they might have different opinions, but this is always, I grew up in California, and, to be able to come here, have my friends, my family watch me ride live, watch me win, I mean, it's very emotional, and it's a very awesome experience. And, how many guys can say that they're sitting next to Hall of Fame jockeys in the room every day,
Without any question. Tommy D and I did a little jockey room pictorial during Del Mar, and I was blown away. We had like 700 views on that, Tommy D. And, when I went in there, I was taken back for a number of reasons. How the boots were all, in order. They were all shined. The jockey silks were all ready to go, race by race. The caps were hanging on a little spinner. It was amazing. And then I thought, wow, this room has some great, great Hall of Famers like Eddie Delahousse, Lafitte Pincay Jr., Chris McCarron, Kent DeSormo, Mike Smith, Alex Solis. It goes on, Victor Espinoza. It goes on and on and on and on of Hall of Fame jockeys in that room, and that room had a lot of spirit. You take it away, Tommy D.
Yeah, no, I had fun doing that with you, Felix. It's great being in the jockey room. Is all jockey rooms, is Del Mar, like when you come to Del Mar compared to the other tracks that you've been to in your travels, how does it compare to the way you're treated as a jockey and, the facility itself?
Well, like you guys just mentioned, like Felix mentioned, every day when I walk into the room at Santa Anita, the first 2 pictures you see is one of Bill Shoemaker, and he's multiple, I should say not 2 pictures, but multiple pictures of Shoemaker. And so you know how that goes to show you how historic Santa Anita really is. And, you know, the room is huge there. The facilities are always upkeep. If something doesn't work, there's someone there to fix it, like, instantly. You really sometimes when you ride at the smaller tracks, if something's not working, you know, kind of just deal with it. I don't know. I mean, like I said, Del Mar, Santa Anita, I mean, you know, it's on the East Coast, they have their Saratoga. But I don't know. I mean, of course, it'd be a dream to ride there sometime as well, but it's just, this is like home, so I love it. I love both rooms.
Yeah, any room that's going to go ahead and put you on the back of a horse, you're going to love. Now, let me ask you, what's the largest price horse you ever rode, the biggest odds?
I rode a filly named Summer Valentine for a trainer named Ron Gaffney, may he rest in peace, in Gulfstream Park, and she paid $210.
$210?
That's correct,
Okay.
210.
So that means like 104 to 1. Yeah.
I think it'd be higher, no?
No.
I don't know.
104 to 1 times 2.
Okay, all right.
So I'll do the math, you do the writing, okay?
Amen to that.
Okay. And let me ask you this. So when you got on board this horse, all right, and you said it was a filly. When you got onto this filly, and perhaps prior to you getting onto the filly, you looked at the past performances and your thoughts were, wow, what am I doing on this filly? Or did you work her, or did you have a good feeling about her?
I actually really appreciate you asking me this, because in my experiences, you know, from the races I've won, I will always look at a program, but there's so many factors that can occur once that gate opens. Sometimes horses show you speed, and, you know, sometimes I'm a firm believer, if they want to go, you know, obviously be smart, use your timing, and that's why we work horses, is to get that clock in our head. But that filly that day, I looked at her, and I had worked her the week before, and she worked really good for me. But he entered her on the grass, so I wasn't sure if she was going to, you know, like the grass or not. And he also said he wasn't sure either. But she broke on top, and so I just took one hold, and I remember I was actually on the lead with a jockey that actually is an assistant trainer here now, coincidentally. But we both were on the lead, and, you know, I got to, it might have been about the quarter pole, and I asked her really late, and I think I won by a nod. And so, you know, that day she felt like being on the lead. You know, she told me with, you know, through my hands what she wanted. And I think that's what, you know, it's our hardest job sometimes is we have like split seconds, sometimes milliseconds to make these decisions, you know, like, and obviously, you know, when the money's on the line and you want to win, you know, you obviously want to do the right thing. But, yeah, like I said on the program, it didn't look like she was going to be on the lead.
So let me ask you this, like, take us back like yesterday, when you know that you got 50, 60 yards to the wire, is your heart beating really fast with adrenaline and enthusiasm?
I feel like, you know, when you leave the gate, it's almost like, I always tell people it's like that kind of like in the zone, you know, like you're just, it's hard to explain, I guess, but you just you almost relax in your mind, you know? Now, I'm sure you're having adrenaline, but it's like your mind is relaxed because now you're trying to, like, think about the next situation that may or may not occur. But, yes, I feel like after you won and you know that you won, then that's when you get the excitement, you know? But you kind of always got to, like I've seen people lose races for getting too excited, and then, you know, somebody comes and nails them on the wire. So... You know, it's all adrenaline, of course, but you get to that zone. Once those gates open, you know, the gates open, you gotta be focused. You gotta relax and you know, try to make, like I said, these very important decisions, and we don't have a lot of time to make them.
No, absolutely not. You're right about that. Octavio Vergara Jr. is joining us, young and upcoming rider. I say young because he's a little bit older than what it appears. I thought he was like 25 or 26, and he told me he was a very old man, Tommy D, at 32. Is that right?
Yeah, I'm 32. That's correct.
All right, so I just want to make sure that.
Man, I must be aging at 38 then.
Yeah, I mean, like, he's old. I mean, 32. He told me I'm old. I go, yeah, you're old.
Not in the jockey world, man.
No,
Pay attention,
no.
buddy. As you see, Mike Smith still riding top of his game.
Yep. And I want to ask you, like, jockeys are weird ducks. They're weird animals, really. They are, because they have to go through a process to maintain weight. It's physically exhausting, mentally exhausting. I mean, you're around there, and it's very, very dangerous, as we have seen. But I want to ask you, like, what's important for you? You run every day, you eat right, you get your rest, and you run every day, a couple miles a day, don't you?
You know, I tend to run at least 4 to 5 days a week because I'm a firm believer that sometimes you don't want to do too much. But I do when I do run, I do on an average of 5 to 6 miles. But I'm fortunate enough that I live pretty close to the beach, so it's pretty easy for me to go and just be at the beach and get in the zone.
So, what will your afternoon be like today?
Well, being that I'm not riding, I will definitely go for a run. I will run from my residence to the beach and back, which is actually, I think it's just under 6 miles. I usually eat something every 3 hours just to kind of keep my metabolism going. I'm a firm believer that, as soon as you wake up, you should eat something. And every 3 hours, eat something, obviously something healthy. You don't go to McDonald's every 3 hours. You don't go to, Carl's Jr. every 3 hours. And I'll have my dinner before 7. I do not eat late. I do not eat late at night. I don't know how some of the riders do it, like when they ride at night. I don't know. I could never eat at night. I wouldn't even feel good. I don't think I would sleep good either. Sleep is very important for us because, we get up so early every day.
Is it like a clock in your head where you automatically wake up?
Yeah, I can't sleep in. I've tried. When I get hurt and I'm on a layoff, I can't sleep in.
What time do you wake up?
I wake up at 4 every morning.
With or without an alarm clock?
Without an alarm, but my alarm's set for 4. But I'm already up.
Yep. And so, like, are you rested, ready to go at 4 a.m.?
I mean, I'm kind of a coffee drinker. I don't think I particularly need it. Like this morning, I didn't need coffee. I was so excited. I won yesterday. It's like, for me, it's easy to get up when I win. I mean, there's nothing more exciting, and you love to hear the compliments, and you love to see what opportunities might arise from it.
Absolutely, and I love that shower tour. You have a lot of friends out there that really want to see you do well. What's the number of races that you won in one day? Did you win 2, 3, 4?
The most I've ever won, multiple times, but with just 2. Nothing crazy.
All right. Well, then you set your goal to win 3 a day, and that's
there you go.
That's the next goal that you've already topped 2, and we've seen Drayden Van Dyke win 7 in a day out of 8 miles. I mean,
that was awesome.
Yeah, I mean, like, what's it like for someone like him to win 7 races, or anybody for a jockey to win 7 races? I mean, like, after you win 1, then you win 2, and then you win 3, and you go, wow, that's a pretty good day. And then you win 4, and you go, wow, I'm having a great day. And then 5, you go, wow, I'm having a spectacular day. This is unbelievable. Then you win 6, and you go, hey, what, is this a dream? And then you win 7, and you go, wow, I mean, like, what a masterpiece this was. It would be something special, and it's about, like you mentioned, being in that zone, yeah?
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, of course. I mean, that would be the ultimate dream, I think, for any rider to be able to have a big day like that. I mean, I've had some accomplishments that have made me proud. I feel like you got to, in this sport, the most ultimately important thing is our health, is trying to stay healthy, and because when you're hurt, you're not out there. And it's like, as you gentlemen mentioned earlier, you understand how dangerous our occupation is. There's not too many occupations where an ambulance follows you while you do your job. So,
yeah, and you're 100% right about that, and that's why you have a good mindset. probably the highlight of your whole entire summer was having a fish taco with me at the Brigantine, was it not?
Yeah, it was actually a really good place.
Yeah, I mean, but how was the company?
Oh, the company was even better.
Okay, all right, that's great. We're going to let you fly. We're going to let you get your day underway. Thank you for joining us. His name is Octavio Vergara Jr. He won a race for Luis Mendez yesterday, 18-1. He won a race at Del Mar for Howie Zucker that was 20-1, and he's looking for more double-digit winners. Stay healthy, my friend. You'll be in my thoughts. I'll talk to you soon, and thanks for joining us on Track Talk.
Thank you, guys. God bless you. Take care.
All right, buddy. That's Octavio Vergara Jr., Tommy D. Really a great guy there.
Yeah, definitely. It's good to have him on the show with us, and congrats on the big win. And the reason I asked him is he's riding 4 to 5 horses in the morning. People don't understand how hard he had to work for that one win. And I know you get it because you're at the track every day, and you saw him hustling. And he did it without an agent most of the summer. He said at the end he picked up one. But, that's a lot of respect. I mean, just to be able to pull off that victory, just to get that one win. He was on a lot of beat-up horses that probably weren't, supposed to win, but he got that win, and he was determined, and I think he's got a bright future. I love the optimistic. He's very well-spoken, probably, one of the best well-spoken jockeys out there. I mean, you talk to a lot of jockeys, I mean, he's with it. So
yeah.
he knows what he wants, and he's going to go for it.
And he's splendid. He's really a splendid young man. I tell you that. I really every time I talked to him, I became more impressed. And he would tell me that he's working 5 or 6 horses, and then he was hoping to get to ride them, and they chose somebody else. That's what the nature of the beast is. Just because you work them does not mean you're guaranteed to ride them. And that's another thing. You talk about, you want to be an activist, an advocate for owners. I kind of find it really hard for some of these big-time trainers. Like he mentioned to me, and a few other jockeys mentioned to me, that these trainers who have these jockeys work these horses, they don't even give them a cup of coffee. They don't give them $20, $10, $20, for the time. And it's really unfortunate.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, they take time to come to drive to the track, put it out, and, it's a big part of the game and the element. Yeah, the main jock doesn't even do most of the work. Like these top jockeys, they're working out their top horses in the morning, but they're not working every single horse they're on. They don't have to because they're already proven. When you're a, young gun like Octavio, he has to show up. He has to prove himself. And unfortunately, he doesn't get money sometimes, but he's working to try to get that mount. And, some guys do handshake, some money here and there. And it's unfortunate, especially that these big barns, that are successful and there's a lot of money rolling through, that they can't, give them a little bit here and there. That is a little disappointing to hear, especially for the hard work and determination. It is, one of the riskiest jobs. Every time in the morning they're out there working a horse, they are risking their life. How many other professional sports athletes can truly say that? I get it. In football, you could get smacked in the head, or, a different sport. Something could happen. But horse racing, something major can happen where you can die. You could get paralyzed on the spot if you don't make the right decision.
Yeah. And, when you were saying that, what I was thinking was that, like, a top jock, Stevens, Smith. I know Drayden works a lot of horses, but just those top jockeys. I don't know if it's like this today, like it was yesterday, but what would happen was that they would work. These young guys would work the horses, and just say Richie Baltas. He'd say, okay, hey, Octavio or Sal Arias, to work these horses with no intention to ride both of those guys. They would get them ready, and who would get the ride? Stevens or Smith, okay? And basically, when you're in demand and you're at the top of the heap, owners, trainers want to ride you, yay?
Yeah, of course. You want to have the best jocks on you, 100%. And a good point to that is we actually had to make a decision in our partnership over the summer where Tyler Gaffalione was going to be in town. And as if you don't, we talk about Tyler Gaffalione all the time, one of the top riders on the East Coast, definitely down at Gulfstream. And we had Sabalos working our horse. He's been showing up and working the horses in the mornings. We were thinking about putting Gaffalione aboard. And, we kept Sabalos up, because of his work he's been doing. Does that happen all the time? No. Is Gaffalione a better rider overall? Yes. But sometimes you need to do what's right, by these guys too at the same time. And where some of these trainers, I get it, they're pressed by the owners. If the owners want to ride a top guy, there's nothing you could do. Sometimes the trainers don't have the option because the owners ultimately have the say in some of the partnerships. So, but
that's true.
Oh yeah, definitely. I mean, if a trainer came up to me and said, "Hey, I'm going to be riding this guy I've never heard of," and you know a little bit about horse racing, or who do you want? You want Mike Smith? You want Flavian Pratt? You want Drayden Van Dyke? You want one of those top riders? You know what I mean? Because you think your chances of winning are better because their percentage is better. They have more experience and knowledge of the game.
Yeah, you're right about that. There was not any question about that. And that's exactly how it's played out. That the owners want the guys. I mean, I could remember one owner wanting a top jockey and the trainer wanted an apprentice. And he said, no. I want him. And the trainer says, well, I want the apprentice. And the owner won out. They make decisions, and that's a back-out case for trainers as well. Trainer would say, like, oh, I'm sorry that I had to take you off the horse because the owner wanted to put somebody else on, when, you just never know what you're getting, if you're getting the truth or not. But nevertheless, the owner has every right to ride whoever he wants. He is paying the bills. But I just think that some of these trainers that are making some good money, and I don't know if some do, if none do, if half of them do, or whatever, that they should, at least, massage the palm, so to speak, with some dead presidents for these jockeys who get up and work the horses early in the morning, always have to be sharp, because we've seen what happened with Victor Espinoza in a workout. You always got to, you can't ever let your guard down. Here's Victor approaching the finish line on that horse, and the horse has a heart attack. Want to shout out to Peter Miller in Rockingham Ranch and those guys for a great Del Mar meeting. That was just tremendous. Gary and his gang up there. Peter Miller was in Fuego, just blitzed it. I don't know what he ended up with, but he ended up with over 40 wins. Drayden Van Dyke, the leading jockey. Congratulations to Drayden. Tommy D. Luca, he's ready for football, isn't he?
Oh, he's ready. He's got the football out. We're going to see some action today. Some racing in Los Alamitos, too, talking about Peter Miller real quick. In race 9, he's got 7-2 Naughty Sophia. Giovanni Franco aboard, looks to be really strong. And then in race 7, I just want to throw out one more. At 6-1, it's number 2, Optimum. John Sadler here in Maiden Clayman. So race 7, I like number 2, Optimum. And then in race 9, number 1, Naughty Sophie at Los Alamitos. Just a couple of picks for you. But yeah, it's something that, needs to be discussed in this sport, is taking care of the people that are making the sport run, including the jockeys, because to the point of this jock going out and working every morning, there's exerciser riders that get paid for this, right? But these jocks have to work for it. But we'll talk more about this next week, Felix.
Nice job, Tommy. Thank you very much. Thank you, Captain. Thank you, Bob Hutton. Week number 1 in the NFL. Bobby Hutton likes Minnesota, Arizona. Tommy D likes Baltimore. Captain likes Carolina. And I like a bagel with coffee.
competitor, MMA and media personality, and mild-mannered insurance agent. You can follow my adventures on Kick-Ass Radio, and I can protect you from life's misadventures at Kramer Insurance. Home, auto, life, business, and workers' comp. We're at KramerINS.com, and I want you to join my world.
You take your smartphone almost everywhere you go. Now WSRadio.com can be there too. Search WS Radio in the Play Store for your Android devices or iTunes for Apple and download the WS Radio application. WSRadio.com on your phone and in your ear everywhere you go. Download the WS Radio application. Do it now. It's very easy. WSRadio.com.
Are you serious about your music? Are you ready to run with the big dogs? The experts at Pitbull Audio have the gear to get you into the game. From leading manufacturers like Mesa Boogie, Fender, Pioneer, and American Audio. To sound your best, you need the best. Pitbull Audio can deliver in rehearsal, on stage, and into the big time. Dropping beats, shredding guitar, or making the crowd roar. Whatever you dream, Pitbull Audio can help make it happen. We are Pitbull Audio. We want you to play it loud. PitbullAudio.com.
Are you a small business or nonprofit? Securing Our eCity Foundation offers free cybersecurity seminars so businesses of every size can become more cyber safe. According to Forbes, just one cybercrime incident can cost a company over $15 million. Protect yourself, your employees, and your business before you fall victim to the nation's fastest growing crime. Go right now to securingourECity.org or call 619-630-2444.
Do you want to be a professional coach? Are you in business trying to make a real difference with people you manage or work with? Have you started a coaching practice that isn't quite getting off the ground? Get the skills you need to be a successful coach today with the Coaches Training Program from Accomplishment Coaching. The Coaches Training Program will show you how to help others focus and be more fulfilled. Whether you want to improve your company's bottom line or create a thriving coaching practice, Accomplishment Coaching can give you the distinctions and practices you need to coach others effectively today. Accomplishment Coaching has spent 6 years developing a cutting-edge coaches training program that will have you ready to coach people professionally in just 12 months, and you don't have to take time off work to do it. To find out more about the Coaches Training Program, just call 1-888-548-6813. That's 1-888-548-6813.